I didn't realize how much I was still holding on to until I tried to let it go. And it wasn't just the situation, but the feeling. All my life, I've been holding a lot of anger, a lot of pain, a lot of resentment towards situations and people that make me feel bad or I felt make me feel rejected, let's say, let's be honest with that, because I think that there was a lot about rejection in my story. So, as I said in other videos, I'm gonna be focused on this a bit more because I feel like this has been part of my resentment and on my pain and my anger, And when I was growing up in Spain, a small town where Asians are not a big thing, I was in a class full of Spaniards and me as Asian, and so obviously I've it was hard for me to feel like I was one of them, because I could see myself and I look like so different than them, and people curse so much on how you look like, all these kind of things. And so I suffer a lot of racism because, well, you're different, you're weird, you're not accepted. So, which means you're rejected. And for many, many years, that feeling of rejection and not being accepted, it was a big deal for me in the way that emotionally started to build up anger, resentment. And every time someone will say something related with my looking, I will get super mad at them. In the beginning, when I was a kid, I heard that I kind of numbed myself. I didn't really feel it. I just numbed myself. I was just, because of fear, because I was a kid, because I didn't know how to act, I guess. And then at my teenage years, that they were hard because I started to have more awareness of what was going on, and they were kind of like mistreating me because I was looking different than them. And I started to become a bit aggressive, violent person towards the people around me and in general with myself, because since I didn't let that go or feel these things, I built up that resentment, and then at some point I had to explode. Yes, explode very badly. My last year before leaving this small town, I started to, fight with every single one who was kind of laughing at me or something because of who I was without knowing me. I didn't even know myself who I was, so why they didn't know anything about me actually. And I started to fight with people, and it's something that I'm not very proud of, but now I understand why I did that. I I didn't let go. I didn't know how to let that go. I didn't, because I didn't feel it. I didn't sit with myself and feel that painful emotions and feelings in my body. I just felt the anger and the resentment, and that's it. That's all I was feeling. But I didn't understand that I had to feel these kind of things and let them go, because it was hurting me every aspect of my life. Also, I feel like I didn't understand the concept of letting go, because even today, I feel like sometimes I feel like I let something go, but it's most of the time it's like I forget about it, and then I moved on, whatever. Like, okay, it's not important, it's not about me, so I move on. But then when something happens, like can be the racism thing or another thing, my body gets triggers again, which means that my body's still holding on to it, even though I didn't know that, and then gets triggers again. And then that feeling, that anger, that resentment, that rejection comes back. And that's when I realized, okay, I didn't really let this go because I didn't make time, make space to feel this, to understand it, and to let it go. That's what I kind of learned. It's like sometimes I confuse letting go with forgetting or moving on. But as I said in the beginning, it's about the feeling or the situation or what happened. It's about how the feeling in my body that like got really deep in my body, and every time there's something similar, my body remembers it and it gets back to that trigger, and it gets on in survival mode. Oh, my chest and my shoulders standing up, and it started to feel, okay, I don't feel good. I'm feeling very upset. There's anger, there's pain, there's resentment here, and the most underlying feeling of rejection, because that's most of the times what happened to me in my experience. Something that I've learned about letting go, it's not one thing. Like it happens, okay, I see it, I make space for it, or okay, I meditate, I feel it and let it go. I don't think it works like that way, at least for me. I think it's goes for phases. Like it can start, okay, I feel this, I understand this, and then you forget about it, and then another time comes back again, and then I start reliving these things, and that's when I understood something. I start reliving that it's happening again, and my body starts to feel the same feelings I was feeling when that happened with me, for example. That's bad. That's kind of like, well, I don't want to feel that way, and there's nobody telling me nothing or mistreating me. It's just my mind reliving something that happened from the past. That's kind of when I understood, and I'm this healing, this process of self-discovering healing. That's kind of I understood, well, this is more, it's deeper than I thought. It's not only about letting go, but it's about relieving, and it's about deeper feelings of resentment and rejection and anger, and yes. So in my experience, I feel like letting go, it's not a one-time thing. It's something that we do it step by step. Sometimes I start, I stop, and then I get it back at some other point, like sometimes years after, because I realize that I have resentment towards people, not only not strangers, because I don't really care about that anymore, but maybe for people close to me who hurt me, or people who say things that it really hurt me too in the past, and I still have those feelings sometimes that I get them back not very often, but sometimes. And then it's kind of like, I think, well, I still need to let this go. I need to sit with this and start to, letting this go in a way that doesn't hurt me anymore, at least. Because something that I kind of understood, it's like when we are in this process of becoming someone new, the way that we carry the past should not be in a burden way, should be in a lessons, right? It's what we learn, what I've learned from the past. Okay, the past I cannot change, but what I've learned from it, I'm carry those lessons with me and see the pain and the feelings from a different perspective, from a new perspective, because I'm becoming a new person. And yes, this letting go, I think that is not as easy as I thought. It's a constant journey. It's a work in progress right now in my life. The important thing is to be aware of it, work on it, and feel the things, to make the space, a safe space for it, and understand, knowing that we can change that. I think that's my biggest lesson in letting go.